You want to know what real betrayal feels like? It's sitting in your car outside your parents' house on Christmas Eve, your knuckles white against the steering wheel, listening to your children hum carols in the back seat while you tell yourself that this time will be different. This time, they meant what they said. This time, when your mother looked you in the eye 3 weeks ago and said, "No gifts this year, just togetherness," she wasn't lying through her perfectly veneered teeth. But you know better, don't you? Deep in that hollow space where your self-respect used to live, you know. You've known for 36 years that fair doesn't exist in your family, not for you. Fair is a luxury reserved for the golden child, the one who sparkles just right in the light, while you stand in the shadows holding everyone else's coat. They said no gifts. Just togetherness. That's what Mom said, her voice dripping with the kind of forced sincerity that makes your skin crawl. And God help you, you believed her. You wanted to believe her so badly that you convinced your husband to return the iPad they'd picked out for your mother. You made your children wrap their handmade ornaments in brown paper because even gift wrap felt like cheating when the rule was no presents. You forced a smile when your husband glanced at you in that knowing way, asking if you were okay. Fine, you lied, because what else do you say? I'm terrified my family is about to humiliate me in front of my children again. I'm scared they're going to make me look like a fool for following the rules they set. No. You say you're fine. It's Christmas, right? The house gleams like a magazine cover when you pull into the driveway. Every wreath perfectly aligned, every ribbon matching, every light twinkling with expensive precision. Your mother, Margaret, greets you with those air kisses that never actually touch your skin. Heaven forbid she muss her lipstick on her disappointment of a daughter. Remember, honey, we all agreed on simple this year. Simple. The word tastes like ash in your mouth because you know, that simple only applies to you. Your children, innocent and trusting, hand over their homemade crafts tied with string. Sophie's paper snowflake that took her 3 hours to cut just right. Caleb's painted ornament with his tiny handprint pressed into the clay. Real gifts. Gifts made with love instead of credit cards. The house smells of nutmeg and status. That's the thing about your family, everything has to smell expensive, look expensive, feel expensive. Even their warmth comes with a price tag. You place your children's humble offerings beside the glossy catered platters, trying not to notice how small they look, how inadequate they seem in this shrine to appearances. Everything seems okay for exactly 17 minutes. 17 minutes of peace before the front door explodes open like a bomb going off in your chest. Enter Brittany, golden child, favorite daughter, woman who has never heard the word no in her entire privileged existence, arms full of gold-wrapped boxes that catch the light like accusations. Surprise, she laughs, and the sound cuts through you like glass. We thought we'd bend the rules a little. Bend the rules. As if rules were suggestion for her, guidelines that applied to everyone else but never, ever to the precious princess who could do no wrong. You watch your niece and nephew tear through wrapping paper like animals, iPads, designer shoes, expensive perfume, everything your children asked Santa for and you couldn't afford. Everything you told them they couldn't have because Grandma said no gifts this year. Your mother gasps with delight. Actually gasps, like she's surprised, like she didn't orchestrate this whole theatrical production designed to make you look like the stingy, rule-following fool. Oh Brittany, you shouldn't have. But her eyes are sparkling, and you can see she thinks Brittany absolutely should have, that this is exactly what Christmas should be. Excess and extravagance and making sure everyone knows just how much money you can throw around. You watch Sophie's smile fade in real time. You watch your 10-year-old daughter's face crumple as she realizes her paper snowflake means nothing here, that her grandmother's joy is reserved for iPads and brand names and everything she can't provide. Caleb clutches his paper ornament tighter, and you want to scream, want to grab him and run, want to protect him from this moment that's burning itself into his memory forever. Your voice is quiet when you speak, but the words slice through the laughter like a blade. I thought we all agreed, no gifts. Your mother's smile doesn't waver. Of course it doesn't. She's had years of practice maintaining that expression while she drives knives into your back. It's Christmas, Laura. Don't make this a thing. Don't make this a thing. Don't you dare make this about fairness or keeping promises or treating your children with the same consideration she shows her other grandchildren. Don't you dare point out the hypocrisy, the favoritism, the way you've been played for a fool your entire life. Don't make this a thing, because making it a thing would mean admitting that some things matter more than keeping up appearances. But it is a thing. It's always been a thing. This moment isn't isolated. It's the culmination of 36 years of being the responsible one, the one who sacrifices, the one who follows rules that don't apply to anyone else in this family. Remember when you were 14 and gave up summer camp so Brittany could attend ballet lessons? Laura doesn't mind, your mother said, as if she'd asked you, as if your opinion mattered. She understands that Brittany has a gift. What gift did you have, besides the ability to swallow disappointment and smile through the pain? Remember college, when you co-signed Brittany's student loan because she had emotional spending issues and couldn't get approved on her own? $20,000 that you're still paying off, $20,000 that bought her a degree she never used because she married rich instead. But you? You worked 3 jobs and graduated with honors that no one celebrated because Brittany was getting engaged that same month. Remember your wedding, scaled down, so it wouldn't outshine Brittany's engagement? Your mother sat you down like a disappointed teacher and explained that having a big wedding so close to Brittany's engagement announcement would be selfish and attention-seeking. So you had a small ceremony in your backyard while Brittany planned her $50,000 fairy tale. And you smiled. You always smile. All your life, fairness was optional, as long as you were the one giving. As long as you were the one sacrificing, compromising, understanding, being flexible. The family martyr, the one who could be counted on to step aside, shut up, and take whatever scraps of affection were left after the golden child had her fill. That night, the house sleeps in satisfied exhaustion. Your children have processed their disappointment the way children do, with resilience you wish you could bottle and drink. But you can't sleep. You sit by your kitchen window watching snow fall under streetlights, each flake perfect and pristine until it hits the ground and becomes part of the gray slush of reality. You open your laptop, and the screen glows cold blue in the darkness. Bank statements. Credit card bills. The financial archaeology of a family that treats you like an ATM with feelings. And there they are, charges you didn't authorize but somehow agreed to over the years. Your parents' streaming accounts. Your sister's gym membership. Recurring, temporary payments that became as permanent as your resentment. Netflix. Disney Plus. Amazon Prime. Brittany's boutique fitness classes. Your father's premium cable package. Your mother's meal delivery service. Line item after line item of ways they've been bleeding you dry while treating you like the family disappointment. $47 here, $93 there, little cuts that add up to thousands of dollars over the years. You open a new spreadsheet and title it, Take Back December. Each line you delete feels like pulling a splinter from an infected wound. Each cancelled subscription is a small victory, a tiny rebellion against decades of being taken for granted. The Netflix account your father uses to watch his history documentaries? Gone. The family phone plan where everyone else gets unlimited data while you pay the bill? Modified. The gym membership Brittany forgot to take over 3 years ago? Cancelled. Click. 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 Each click echoes in the silence like gunshots, like the sound of bridges burning, like the sweet symphony of finally saying no. The next morning brings a knock on your door that sounds like an angry fist. You know who it is before you look through the peephole. Your parents stand on your doorstep, not with an apology, not with understanding, but with the righteous indignation of people who have never been told no in their lives. Your father can't access his shows, your mother announces, as if you've committed some unforgivable sin. What did you do? What did you do? What did you do? You lay out the printed statements calmly, each page a testament to years of financial abuse disguised as family obligation. Bank records that show payment after payment to accounts that aren't yours, for services you don't use, for people who treat you like dirt but expect you to subsidize their lifestyle. I stopped paying for what wasn't mine. They threaten you. They guilt you. They hint at calling the bank, as if you've stolen something instead of simply stopping the theft of your own money. Your father blusters about family obligations and helping each other out, conveniently forgetting that help in your family only flows in one direction, toward the people who need it least and appreciate it not at all. But you don't flinch. You don't back down. You don't apologize for setting a boundary that should have been set decades ago. The power shift is palpable, you can see it in their faces, the dawning realization that their favorite punching bag has grown claws. The family group chat explodes within hours. Cousins texting, aunts whispering, the whole extended network of gossips and enablers lighting up their phones with outrage. Laura's lost it. She's jealous. Ungrateful. What kind of daughter cancels her parents' Netflix? For every accusation, one message of quiet support trickles in. Aunt Joan, your father's sister who was written off years ago for causing drama, which really meant standing up for herself, good for you, honey. Some lessons come late for families like ours. That message sits in your phone like a lifeline, proof that you're not crazy, that this isn't normal, that other people see what you've been blind to for so long. You're not alone in recognizing the toxicity that masquerades as family love. The isolation hurts. The whispered phone calls and canceled invitations sting. But you know what hurts more? Watching your children learn that love means being a doormat, that family means swallowing injustice with a smile, that their mother's dignity is worth less than keeping the peace. You and your husband sit at the dining table with spreadsheets open, and for the first time in years, the math feels like hope instead of despair. Where your family's expenses used to drain your account, new goals fill the screen. Swimming lessons for Sophie, $90 a month that used to go to your sister's yoga classes. Weekend cabin trip, money that used to disappear into your parents' premium cable package. Debt-free January, a reality now that you're not subsidizing 3 other households. You toast with coffee mugs, and the liquid tastes like freedom. But they're not done with you yet. At Sophie's winter recital, they appear like storm clouds, late, loud, dramatic. Brittany carries bags of small gifts with the same theatrical flair she's perfected over the years. For the kids, of course, she announces to the other parents. You can't say no to children. But you can. You do. You step between them and your children, calm but firm, and say the words that have been building in your chest for months. We agreed. No gifts. The room quiets. Other parents watch. This is the moment, the public test of everything you've learned about boundaries and self-respect. In the past, you would have shrunk, would have allowed yourself to be bulldozed in front of an audience to avoid making a scene. Not anymore. Instead of shrinking, you smile kindly, not the fake smile you've worn for years, but a real one, powered by conviction instead of fear. They don't need things to feel loved. The audience softens. Applause breaks the tension. Validation arrives from strangers who see what your family refuses to acknowledge, that love isn't measured in gift receipts, that teaching children about boundaries and self-respect is worth more than any iPad. For the first time in your life, you feel the support of people who don't have a vested interest in keeping you small. Weeks pass. The angry phone calls slow to a trickle, then stop altogether. The family group chat moves on to other dramas, other scandals. You start to think maybe it's over, maybe they've finally accepted that you're not their personal ATM anymore. Then they show up again, unannounced, entitled, carrying themselves like they own your doorstep. But this time, you don't retreat. This time, you're ready. You lay out a folder on your kitchen table, every transaction, every favor, Every unpaid debt catalogued with obsessive precision. Bank statements going back 5 years. Receipts for gifts that were never reciprocated. Documentation of every time you said yes when you should have said no. I'm not asking for repayment, you say, and mean it. I'm asking for respect. Your father falls silent for the first time in your memory. Your mother stares at the numbers, really seeing them for the first time, seeing the scope of what she's ignored for so long. $43,000 over 5 years. $43,000 of your money, your sacrifice, your children's future funneled into accounts that belong to people who treat you like an obligation instead of a daughter. We didn't mean to take advantage, she whispers, and for a moment, you almost believe her. Almost let yourself hope that this is the beginning of real change, real acknowledgement of the damage that's been done. But then you remember Christmas morning. You remember Sophie's face. You remember 36 years of, we didn't mean to, that never translated into actual change. Then stop, you say. 2 words that carry the weight of decades. Just stop. 6 months later, the snow has melted into spring sunshine. You kneel in your backyard garden with Sophie and Caleb, their small hands helping you plant tomatoes and peppers and herbs that will feed your family through the summer. The soil smells rich and full of possibility. Your mother calls before visiting now. She asks permission instead of assuming access. Your father mails checks for his streaming services, small amounts, token payments, but payments nonetheless. Acknowledgement that what he uses should be what he pays for. Brittany keeps her distance, and that's okay. That's more than okay, it's a gift you didn't know you needed. The silence where her drama used to live feels like peace. Some gifts don't come wrapped in shiny paper with perfect bows. They come in quiet mornings when no one is demanding anything from you. They come in knowing where your money goes, knowing that every dollar you spend is a choice you made instead of an obligation forced on you. They come in watching your children learn that love doesn't mean being a doormat, that family doesn't mean accepting disrespect, that saying no is sometimes the most loving thing you can do. You serve pancakes to your kids on a Saturday morning, golden circles on mismatched plates, and their laughter echoes through your small, happy home. This house doesn't gleam like a magazine cover. The dishes don't match. The curtains came from a discount store. But it's yours, truly yours, not mortgaged to emotional manipulators and financial parasites. Love without limits turns into labor. Real love has boundaries, that's how it lasts. That's how it grows. That's how it becomes something worth having instead of something that drains you until there's nothing left but resentment and the hollow echo of what you used to be. You used to think that setting boundaries meant you loved less. Now you know it means you love better. Love with intention instead of obligation. Love with respect instead of resignation. Love that fills you up instead of bleeding you dry. The anger still lives in you, it probably always will. But it's not the hot, helpless rage of the powerless anymore. It's the cold, clean fury of someone who has drawn lines in the sand and means to defend them. It's the anger of someone who has finally learned the difference between being loving and being taken advantage of. And in the space where that old, defeated version of yourself used to live, something new is growing. Something that looks suspiciously like peace.